Welcome to the Going Alcohol Free podcast. I'm Lise, I'm your host, and this podcast is for people that want to take control of their drinking habit. I'm so glad that you're here. And we took a little break from dry January. It was an unexpected break. I didn't expect to be away from you for 6 weeks, but I had a little dilemma in my mind. And so I want to talk to you about it today and where we're going from here. My goal with this podcast is actually to help you go alcohol free, and it is to help you get control of your drinking. Now, I haven't actually explained my whole story of how I went alcohol free, but it was by accident. I didn't mean to stop drinking. I didn't mean to lose the desire for alcohol, but that's what happened. And so, if I'm being honest with myself, my true passion and purpose for this podcast is to actually help you not just get control of your drinking habit, but to help you completely lose the desire for alcohol. If I'm being honest with myself, that's what I want for you all. I want you to just lose the desire for it, where you don't want alcohol in your life and you don't need it, and you don't need it to cope with life or anything like that, because your life is amazing without it. And so the reason why I took 6 weeks off, it was unexpected. I didn't plan to do that. And so I just wanted to say I apologize for that. For those of you who are looking for new episodes and we're like, well, where are they? Here's the thing. I wasn't sure the direction that I really wanted to take this podcast. I knew that I wanted to help you go alcohol free, which is why I named the podcast Going Alcohol Free. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it light and fluffy, which is kind of what we did for dry January, or if I really wanted to help you go deep and do the work to actually help you lose the desire for alcohol. And as I did some mindfulness exercises and some meditation and asking help from above, I came to the conclusion that I really wanted to take this podcast to a deeper level with you and help you lose the desire for alcohol. And so this podcast may not be for everyone, but if you do want to stop drinking or at least get control of your drinking, then this is going to be for you. This podcast is for you. And I want to start actually today helping you understand your desire for alcohol and why you desire it, and share a little bit of my story about my drinking habit and how I ended up where I ended up. So if that sounds good to you, I'd love for you to follow the podcast or subscribe on YouTube, because your life is just going to be so much happier. Your body is going to be so much healthier, and you're just going to feel so much more fulfilled without the desire for alcohol in your life. Because I'm telling you, you are a very strong person, whether you know it or not. Your soul, if you're listening to this right now, or if you're watching me on YouTube, your soul is knocking from the inside and saying, hey, something in your life, something here isn't quite right. It's knocking on the inside, and it wants to be free. It wants to be free from alcohol. But alcohol is keeping you stuck. Alcohol it's not letting your soul breathe. It's not letting you be who you really want to be or do or have in your life. It's keeping you stuck, and it's keeping you stressed. I know for me that it was part of the problem. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I didn't know that alcohol was a problem in my life. So I wasn't seeking out podcasts or YouTube channels to help me with my drinking, because that it didn't seem like it was a problem, although it was a problem because I was procrastinating and I was, you know, not showing up as my best self. But what I thought was the problem was a job that I really didn't enjoy anymore, and the stress that I was feeling from that job. And so I was coping with my stress and with my overwhelm with alcohol. But see, for you, you're listening to this podcast or this YouTube video, and you're seeking out ways to help you control your drinking, which means that you are onto yourself. And that is the first step. So, congratulations to you for taking the first step, which is just seeking out ways to help you control your drinking or even stop drinking. Because I was so in my head and so not even aware that I just thought that my job was the problem, and that I didn't, and I wasn't feeling fulfilled anymore. And maybe this is you too. Maybe when you come home, you grab a glass of wine and you unwind from the day, and it's just your normal routine. But if you're listening to me, then you know that something's up. So I just want to say congratulations to you for being onto yourself. That's the first step. That's the first step to making a change, because you're self-aware. I wasn't self-aware at all. I was just hoping and praying that I could figure out a different way I thought my job was the problem, honestly. It wasn't really the problem. It was the way that I was thinking about everything in my life. And, one of the things that I really want you guys to think about, and then the next episode, let's talk about my drinking and how I ended up quitting drinking. But when I decided that I wanted to cut back, because that's what I wanted to do first, is I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. And this is even after I quit my job, my corporate job. I was still drinking, but I decided that I wanted to cut back a little bit, because I didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I was showing up in this world. I couldn't blame it on my job because I no longer had a corporate job anymore. I was doing different things. And so I made a decision that I wanted to just change from drinking tequila every now and again and Prosecco and champagne to 86ing, or leaving out the tequila, and no more tequila. I was just going to focus on drinking Prosecco and Chardonnay. So that was kind of the first change that I made when I decided that I wanted to make a change. I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to make a change. Now, this was during my self-development process. So for you, one of the things I just want you to think about today, until we meet next time on the next session, or the next episode, I should say, is that I want you to think about, when you drink, is it actually making you feel better? Is it making you feel different? When did you start drinking? Because for me, I started drinking when I was 15, was my first drink. And it was like the forbidden fruit in my family. Okay. So that made me want it even more. And again, I'm going to tell my story in the next episode. But I want for you, until we meet again, to think about when you first started drinking. and maybe put it down in the comments below if you're on YouTube. I would love to hear your first drinking experience, because for us drinkers, it usually is something along those lines of, maybe it was forbidden in your household like it was in mine, and that made me want it even more. And where did your drinking come in to play when you first started drinking? Like, were you at a party? Did you sneak it? I would love to know, because it does come into play as to why we lean on alcohol now in our life. There's a reason why. And remember, alcohol is a learned behavior. It is a habit for most of us. It's like I learned the behavior of, okay, it's the weekend. It's time to escape from my life, which is why I would binge drink, because it's like the vacation. It was like, I thought of the weekend as like a vacation. And if I could binge drink all weekend, it was like I could escape from my life. And in the evenings, it was a tiny escape from my life. Having a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine, or usually 3 glasses is a bottle. And it was a way to escape from the realities of my life. And it made me feel better in the moment, but only for a couple of hours, and then made me feel really crappy the next day. So my first drink, 15 years old, at a party, and I ended up being sick, and it was awful. But like I said, it was the forbidden fruit. I wasn't allowed to drink. I mean, obviously I was underage, but my parents didn't drink, and it was I wasn't allowed to go to parties, really. So anyway, it's a long story, but I can't wait to share this with you. I want to share all of this with you guys. And I really want for us to go deep on this podcast, and really help you eliminate the desire for alcohol. That's what I want. So if that sounds good to you, I hope that you will continue to follow the podcast. And you can expect, now that we know that we're going to be going deep on this podcast, that, one podcast at least per week, maybe more. And I haven't figured out the exact day that I want to post for you guys, but as soon as I do, I will let you know. This was laid on my heart today to just come and just share this with you all. And that's what I want this podcast to be. I want it to be just an open and honest podcast, and to be able to go deep with you, and to really just be able to share what I've learned and what has helped me, so that because I wanted to help you too. Because I can tell you that life without alcohol, or I should say the desire for alcohol, is so amazing. It is really a gift. And that's what I want for you. So it's great to be back with you. I missed you, and I cannot wait to see you or to chat with you again here in the next few days. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing Dry January with me. And I'm just glad to be back with you all. All right. You guys, shine bright, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Don't forget, come over to YouTube and tell me about your first drinking, the first time that you drank. I really want us to be a community and share our experiences and how it's going for us as we do this together. I'm here to help. I want us to all help each other. Okay. Bye for now. Shine bright. See you soon.